When news broke that Diddy had been sentenced to just over 4 years in federal prison, the entire music world came to a standstill. Reactions flooded in from fans, critics, and former industry rivals alike. But one response stood out above the rest. Suge Knight's. And he's furious.
Done. I mean, that's the first time in history that a person is going to get sentenced and they can actually put on a campaign like they're running for the president of the United States, where they can show videos and pretty much everything. Only thing I was waiting on was the fact that I was waiting on him to bring out the DJ and start playing music and let him do what he do best, dance and shake that ass. And Mike, not cutting you off, but he was an informant for years.
Was you really?
Yeah. That's why when people was like, oh, he's going to run, oh, he's not. It's the reason why these type of people get caught up. They always been feeling they bigger than the law because they part of the law.
Speaking from behind bars, the former Death Row Records boss didn't mince his words. Suge said he's witnessed it all, the streets, the studios, and the courtrooms. But Diddy's sentencing left even him shocked. To Suge, this wasn't justice. It was pure privilege disguised as punishment.
And the other side of it is that, well, the sad side of it is that I couldn't believe that not one of his baby mothers came in to support him or testify. And I was surprised by that because that shows a lot about the character. I know if I was on the stand, if I was up there, at least a few of my baby mamas, at least one for sure, would come have something good to say.
Someone like Suge, who spent decades inside the system, seeing that kind of leniency was almost unbelievable. He recalled his own day in court. No cameras, no support, no second chances. Just a few cold words from the judge and the sharp crack of a gavel that changed his life forever.
Like they took it easy on him, giving him 50 months.
Absolutely. That's probably one of the best deals for decades and decades and decades. This is the first time a black man won without a strong black woman. They wasn't worried about Mandela making all those power moves. It was about his wife making all those power moves. On the chessboard, the king is the most important piece. But the queen is the only piece to move all around the board to make sure the king grows and stay who he is. So he definitely, that's the deal of the century, for the decades and decades and decades and decades. You know how many people, you know how many black men doing life? Life was out. Some of them on the real death row. Some of them, a guy who steals a pizza get more time than Puffy. And other attorneys will not fight for a guy who stole a pizza and got life, but they'll fight for the guy who destroyed the women's mind. And it's a situation where anybody can make mistakes. Anybody can do wrong. But you got to be accountable what you did wrong for. But it's a situation where a person step on some shit, some dog shit. They can wipe it on the grass and where they can't see the shit. But that shoe still smells like shit.
Suge's tone wasn't bitter, but reflective. He called Diddy's 4-year sentence a blessing for his family, a chance for his kids to still have their father and for his mother to hug her son again. But even as he acknowledged that, Suge couldn't ignore the imbalance. In his eyes, Diddy, one of the richest and most powerful men in music, had walked away with what most inmates would call light time. Meanwhile, countless others serving time for far smaller crimes, even petty theft, are left to rot in the system, forgotten, without mercy, and with no real chance to rebuild their lives.
Kelly situation was not bad as Puffy's situation. And they kicked R. Kelly square in his ass. And they gave Puffy a hug.
So you feel that Diddy got special treatment?
It was definitely special treatment when I was getting sentenced. My mother wanted to speak. My family wanted to speak. And they wouldn't allow no one to speak at all. I wasn't allowed to speak. I wasn't allowed to do nothing. And I don't think anyone else is allowed to do that. I know this. That judge, he didn't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck about those women because they feel there's some in the script was already written and said. You can tell that when the prosecution didn't go for 20 years or 10 years, they went for 11 years because they know they had no way to win because it was already written the way the outcome was going to be. You can go all the way back. You'll never find no one getting sentenced. They get allowed to make a video of themselves.
And that's what really got to him. Suge's message wasn't just about Diddy. It was about the system itself. He said America's justice system plays by a different set of rules when fame and influence enter the picture. Over the years, he's watched countless people go through the system without Diddy's money, lawyers, or powerful connections. People who never get sent to facilities with rehabilitation programs or family-friendly visitation.
You think Diddy is strong enough to do 2 years?
I just told you, bro. Kirk Burroughs, Lil' Kim. It's a lot of other people in the music industry that done federal time.
Because you told me he was suicidal. That's why I asked.
Everybody's suicidal when they first go to prison. Everybody's suicidal. If you've never been to prison before, you've never been behind bars, everybody's suicidal. Then you get used to it. It becomes your livelihood. You learn how to stay alive. You got a crust of bread in the corner to sleep in. Everything else is a blessing. It was something that was powerful that Diddy said. He said to the judge, he said, I can't change the past, but I can change the future. As if that he knew if the judge would let him out today, that he was going to do some things that was going to be powerful, whether it's in the industry, whether it was in this new life that he said he was going to do with the drug treatment programs, with the domestic violence. See, that's the avenue that he probably used now. You know what I'm saying? Get into it because he can't go back to the music industry because he wasn't doing nothing in the music industry anyway. You know what I'm saying? Nobody would have him marketed anything unless it's Astroglide and Baby All. So he can't do the marketing thing right now. So he may be trying to look at the drug treatment programs and setting up different type of nonprofit agencies. You understand? Because them people make a whole lot of money on government grants, federal grants, state grants, city grants. So that might be his new avenue. Because he said he can't change the past. He's recognizing that.
Still, Suge believes Diddy's fame might actually work in his favor. If the Bureau of Prisons grants his lawyer's request to send him to FCI Fort Dix, it won't be the toughest spot to do time. By federal standards, it's a low-security facility, more like a controlled community than a traditional prison. Inmates live in dorm-style housing, have access to open spaces, and can join programs like RDAP, the Residential Drug Abuse Program, which can even reduce their sentences. It's one of the few places where inmates get a real shot at rebuilding themselves. But Suge also warned that even in a place like that, discipline is everything. The system watches every move. And according to Gene Deal, Diddy still has a lot to face, and even more to answer for.
Think Diddy should try to get a pardon from Trump?
I think that he's going to use every method, whether it's appeals, whether it's Trump. He's going to use every method he can to get out of jail earlier than what he can. He's going to use all his resources to do whatever he has to do. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what he's supposed to do. Don't you think so? He's supposed to use all his resources he can to get out of jail.
You think Trump would do it?
I don't know. Trump is a very vindictive person, and like he said, he didn't say I used to like the guy, but he didn't say a lot of nice things to me about me. So if it would come by, if it come by his desk and if it's something is monetary to Trump and it's his last year, but Diddy should be out before Trump last year. He only gonna do 2 years, bruh. He go 2 years, he go to a halfway house. That's it.
You think Diddy is strong enough to do 2 years?
I just told you, bruh.
Gene didn't seem surprised when asked if Diddy might try reaching out to Donald Trump for a pardon. He said flat out that Diddy will use every tool at his disposal to shorten his time, whether it's an appeal, a legal loophole, or even calling in a presidential favor.
You knowing Diddy personally, do you think it's possible he might take his life?
It takes a certain individual to prepare himself to do a lot of years in jail. From the lifestyle that he had, I'm not saying that he can't. I just don't see him able to do time behind bars. Maybe if he be in a camp type situation, that's a possibility. But based on the lifestyle and what he's done and what he's accomplished, if he had to go behind those bars for a lot of years, I think that he may commit suicide. He'd do an Epstein.
Why do you think he didn't pull a Russell Simmons and lead the country?
They was watching him, bruh. They was watching him. And then I think that he had to turn over his passport. Even if you own your own private jet, they have a system up there whereas that they supposed to check your passport and anything that you need to fly as if you were flying commercial. I just got, if I could say one thing to him, in all honesty, don't drop the soap.
When Diddy does get out, what direction you think he should go in?
My personal opinion, when he get out, and if he wants to do anything that is going to give him any kind of recognition or any sense of changing, he should do whatever he learned in those rehabilitation classes with reentry, with drug treatment, with domestic violence, open up some nonprofit agencies that people can get help from, or he can use his platform for doing the right thing by people that has been wrong, whether it's in domestic violence or in drug treatment. I think he should go in that route.
What you think about Diddy complaining about the living conditions in prison?
It's prison. He's not the only one in those conditions. You got to realize there's other inmates in that dormitory that has the same shit, and they don't have a commissary that he has. You got to realize they have a commissary, and he's going to get the best out of the commissary because he's able to use all the money he got to get whatever in the commissary. And then the people around him, he could put money in their commissary.
Then came a surprising moment when Gene was asked about Diddy's emotional breakdown in court. Rather than mocking him, Gene offered a dose of reality, saying that almost everyone who's never been locked up goes through that same initial shock, the loss of freedom, the sudden lack of control. It breaks down even the toughest minds. Gene called it the stage, That early wave of despair before you learn how to survive and accept that your old life can't follow you past those gates. He's even mentioned before that Diddy might struggle so deeply in prison that he could become a danger to himself.
Even to the world, I don't think you know, man.
When my baby cries.
You gotta give her a bottle then. Know that you mean something to people. Know that you mean something to people. Like you live somewhere in people's heart. My nose fell off. No, my lip fell off. Thank you. You hear it? You inspire, you energize, and you've left that for the rest of the existence of this planet, man.
One thing about great producers is they make you want to do better and be better about what you do. And he made me feel like I could do anything and go anywhere.
From New York. I love New York. I love the city of New York. I love the children of New York. I wanted to do something good. I wanted to get my generation in the hip-hop community behind us. They come through in a big way. And we wanted to raise some money for the children of New York City for health and education. We have a huge education crisis. And, you know, this is just a start. It's something we're going to be committed to. I'm going to be committed to for a lifetime. And it's no better way than taking it to the streets. It's a beautiful city running all around. The city's going to be painful. It's going to be rough. But, you know, if we get through it, then it'll show kids and everybody else that, you know, finish what you started and you can do anything you put your mind to. Can y'all go to public school?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all want to raise money for your schools. So y'all get more books and computers and stuff like that. I just feel like it's important that us, you know, young adults of power, that we look out for y'all. And we utilize our power to make sure y'all are all right in the future. Put everything you can into your work, you know. Don't think the cool thing is not to do your work. Don't think the cool thing is to hang on the corner with your friends and to talk about stuff that ain't gonna protect your future.
Wanted to learn about him as a man who was taking up a new sport.
Well, you know, I was actually very impressed. You know, a lot of people think it's just a celebrity stunt, that he isn't serious about his running. He is as serious about his running, has been the last 9 weeks, as a lot of these guys in the lead pack. I mean, he's really devoted and dedicated himself to running. You know, he's had some knee problems, and a lot of people don't think he's going to finish. He is going to finish, even if he has to do it on one leg, because he's raised a lot of money for kids' charities, and he's not going to let all those people down.
Outside those prison walls, the story took a far more emotional turn. Just days after sentencing, Diddy's children finally broke their silence. And for the first time, the world witnessed their heartfelt reactions. On Instagram, Christian King Combs chants Justin Dior, and twins Jesse and Delilah shared a touching tribute titled Asterisk, We Love You, Pops. Hashtag Dilfree. Asterisk, the video wasn't flashy or made for attention. It was raw and genuine, showing Diddy as a loving father, played with his kids when they were young, laughing at home, greeting fans, and running the 2003 New York Marathon to raise millions for charity.
What's up, twins? Quincy, what's up, man? Pink phone, pull your head, baby. Pink phone, yo. Yo, Pink. How you guys feel? How do you feel, Mom? How do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel, Mom? How do you feel, Mom?
For Diddy's kids, that was a man they wanted the world to remember. Not the headlines or courtroom drama, but the father who worked hard, preached unity, and gave back to his community. During the sentencing, his youngest daughters, the twins, reportedly broke down in tears, saying they were scared to face life without both parents. Their father now behind bars, and their mother, Kim Porter, gone since 2018. The post quickly struck a chord online, with fans flooding the comments in support, while critics debated whether the tribute was genuine or strategic. But one thing was undeniable. Despite their pain, Diddy's family wasn't ready to give up on him.
Get off easy, or, you know what I mean? Somebody gonna get fucked up in the end. Somebody a high power. You know, all these people start dying. Noticing all these Quincy Jones, all these people start dying. Everything since Puffy happened, everybody started dying. T.D. Jakes all of a sudden sick. His whole crew is just getting sick or dying. You dig what I'm saying? It's cold as shit here. I'm gonna be looking like I'm on crack on this bitch. I keep shaking. But yeah, so I mean, if P. Diddy beat this case, Don gotta watch her back.
In court, Diddy's lawyers claimed he'd changed, sober, remorseful, and spiritually renewed, and asked that he serve time at FCI Fort Dix in New Jersey. Judge Subramanian, however, left the decision to the Bureau of Prisons, only recommending Diddy be placed near New York. Notably, he avoided naming Fort Dix, a subtle move that kept control out of Diddy's hands. Rumors later surfaced that Diddy's influence still runs deep, though none of those claims have been proven.
You just finna up and act like it never happened and go get it to another bitch. That ain't happening. If you think that's gonna happen, because they can't beat you up. So either they try to go to the police or they burn the house down. You see, she testifying. She want that nigga gone because she know if he don't go, chances are I'm dead. And it might not happen now. It's going to be something happen in 5 to 10 years. But if Puffy beat this case, that bitch out of there. If he was smart, he'd stay the fuck away from him. Because, you know.
So you think if Diddy, if he beat this case, he going out the castle?
Yeah. Well, y'all don't know Puffy. Y'all don't know Puffy. Y'all think this man's some sweet homosexual or something like. You costing me everything. He's a malicious person. He's had a mentality of I will not lose for so long. Anybody from the smallest, from the janitor to the CEO, if you did something he didn't like, he has got his revenge. From the janitor to the CEO in the building. He don't care how small you are, you're not gonna play Puffy. And she knows what I know. Everybody know. That bitch gonna have to move to south of France. Somewhere. Everybody's scared. The ones who didn't support, the ones who thought he was burnt, they scared. They don't want to see him beat the case.
The judge's note to the defense sounded like a clear reminder that, celebrity or not, every inmate has to face the system just like everyone else. Meanwhile, rumors have surfaced that if Diddy were to get out early, he might seek revenge against those who testified against him, with Cassie reportedly at the top of the...
Says Sean Diddy Combs has asked him for a pardon.
I have a lot of people have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
Combs is serving a 4-year sentence in a New York City jail on 2 prostitution-related charges. Attorneys for Combs have not commented on President Trump's remarks, but they are asking to move his sentence to a low-security federal prison in New Jersey. ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer is following that story for us. Brian, you say the president could help Diddy get released without a pardon or full clemency. How so?
So it would be the other way around, that he can, in fact. The president has very broad powers in terms of clemency. Clemency being the larger umbrella where both a pardon and commutation could come up. Now, for most people, they make an application to the Office of the Pardon Attorney in the DOJ, but someone like Sean Combs could go directly to the president, or he could just simply hear of him, and he can either reduce his sentence to the point that he can get released, a commutation, or give him a full.
You think Trump should listen to Diddy? Could he get a pardon and walk? Let us know in the comments.